Hi, it's Kathy from Raven Vintage. Welcome back to my craft room. Come on in. I saved you a spot, and welcome back to 100 Ways to Use Scraps. I just wanted to share a little haul with you that I got earlier today. My friend Gail called me and said she was going to a private sale, by appointment only kind of thing, going through this gal's mother's home, and they were separating things and selling them. Anyways, I went to the sale and I came home with some treasures. I got these shorthand items, a little choir book, a beautiful little book here, and 2 Pitmans. I'm laughing because actually there's only one guy that would know my excitement about this, and he has since passed away, and it's kind of sad. But we used to work together, and I took, everywhere I worked, I took my Pitman book with me, which was my book from high school, and it was like a business administration book that taught you all kinds of things like salutations and letters and formats of letters and all of that back in the day when we used to type. I never did learn shorthand, but when I saw Pitman, like, I had to grab those. So they're beautiful. And then here's her mom's practice book, which I think is amazing. So I can't wait to use these papers. And then one little, I just grabbed one encyclopedia. She had so many. There's too many. I couldn't take them all. But yeah, that was my little haul today. So I thought you might enjoy seeing that. And then I wanted to explain, Ingeborg had mentioned that where's video 30, project 33. Did I miss project 33 because I'm now looking at project 34? That puzzled me also. So I looked into it, Ingeborg, and what happened was I neglected to add project 33 to the playlist of 100 ways, which I have now fixed. But it was missing from the playlist. So if you were following along the series using the playlist, 33 was missing. And then you said that you had seen 34. I'm like, well, how is that even possible? Because it's not scheduled to be released until midnight. And so I dug into that. You were commenting on Project 34. So obviously you'd seen it. So I looked into it and I learned something new. So I'm kind of glad this came up. If I have provided someone the link to the playlist and I add a video that's unlisted, not available to the public yet, you can still see my unlisted videos. I didn't know that. So if you're a creator and you do YouTube videos, tell me if you knew that, because I did not know that. So if you provide a link to a playlist and you add a video to it and it's scheduled and so it's not public yet, anybody that has the link to that playlist can see all of your unlisted videos. So you may wish to what I'm going to start doing is adding them to my playlist the day after they're released, or later in the day, like say 8 a.m. or something. And then that way they will stay in order for you. So I'm kind of glad that came up. I hope that explains things. I learned something new. So like I said, sometimes it's good that those things pop up so that we can learn those lessons. So new to me. Good to know. Okay, moving on. Let's get started on our project number 35, the sliding element. We are on project number, what are we on? We are on 35, sliding element. Now, we did a sliding pocket before, so we're going to use what we learned with this sliding pocket, using that sheath that we wrapped around in some sort of a glider bar for it, but we're not going to do the pocket. We're going to do the actual element itself. And in this case, I've chosen a butterfly to be, the element itself is going to slide. It's not about hiding anything or, trying to make a faux pocket or surprise anybody that the pocket moves. So I've selected this from Edith Holden, and I'm thinking I just would like this butterfly to look like he's in the foreground and he's just going to float back and forth. So I'll show you how we're going to do that. So I'm actually going to, how do I want to do this? I think I want it on the inside. Yes. I'm just going to, I thought maybe I'd fussy cut it, but I don't think that's going to necessarily work that well. Let's try this. Let's try this. And someone else has asked if we're going to be decorating the cover of our journals. If those of you that have a base journal or whatever, we certainly can at the end. of the 100 ways we can do that. As kind of a little wrap-up series, that would be fun. Okay, so if I did my pocket over here, and I had my slider either way, this side up and down, or this way up and down, I think maybe this side up and down would be good. Yeah, let's do that. So I will kind of just do a shadow fussy cut, let's call it. I don't know what you call that when it's not right up against the... Let's see. And then I'll cut that off at the end. So I'm going to make this into a pocket as well. And then I also want this guy to slide up and down. Okay, so basically when we make our slider sheath, we want the slider sheath to be attached to the back of this, or not the sheath, I'm sorry, the bar or the slider pole, whatever you want to call it. And then the sheath will attach to that. But the whole mechanism is going to be lifted off the page so we can still use this as a pocket. So I need a longer piece than what I have. Let me grab something. So here's something sturdy. This is cardstock. And I don't need it this wide. I'm going to, but I do want it to be straight. So I should use my trimmer. I want it to be straight lines so that the sheath slides over it easily without any lumps or bumps or interruptions. That's good. So what do we have? That's just under an inch. And that'll work just fine. So can you see that my piece is a little bit shorter than my pocket itself because I want to be able to glue this down? And then my sheath is going to simply wrap around this guy. Okay, I don't know if that's going to be long enough. Let's test my theory here. So if I have a loop for my sheath, that's going to slide up and down this, but remember we need it a little bit tighter so that it doesn't like do this. But for now, let me just see what that's going to look like. This is going to go underneath my pocket. I'm a little tall there, so I'll have to trim that. And then, no, I don't think that's quite long enough. Let me get something a little bit longer. So I will go back to that piece then. And that's going to be too long. I've got my fold here. I'll do it opposite so you can, here, I'll just flip it over. So this is going to slide up and down the bar. This is the sheath wrap. I'll close it off at some point there to pinch it, and then this will be like that. Right. Okay. All right, so what I have, this piece is 6 inches. 6 inches. Now I'm going to put this inside, and I want this to slide up and down, but I don't want it to do this. So I need to pinch it off here. So a staple is probably going to be your best bet. If you don't have a stapler, go ahead and glue it. But you want to staple it close so it moves, but we don't want it wobbling around too much. So staple as close to the edge as you can. Without stapling this, of course. Let me see how close I can get. If you staple it, you can always remove it. If you accidentally staple this thing, you can remove it and start again. But there, see how that moves? Freely, but it's not too loose. Now I've got this extended arm to glue my butterfly on. And when I glue my butterfly, I want to leave about this much not glued. so that that fits under here and I can still move my thing. This might be out a little far. Let me just make it a little smaller. You can go straight up and down. You can just use this. It doesn't have to be a tree. It can be whatever you like. And then, if I'm hiding this on the back, I'm going to glue down here and up here and see how it's sticking out. I'm going to trim this a little bit shorter, like that, so it's hidden. Now, mind you, that's as high up as I can go, and that's as low down as I can go with my butterfly. So let's glue this on, and keep in mind we want to keep the glue at the ends, just close to the ends to give us more room for the butterfly to move around. Like that. And then, oops, I want to come over close to this side. Let's take a look. Yep. Okay. Where's that glue there? So we have, let me grab something. Glue, staple, and that's right along, so this can still move up the sheath. Or is this the sheath and that's the bar? I'm not sure. I'm not an engineer. I'll let that cure for a second, and then when I glue this down in my book, I'm going to glue here and I'm going to glue there. So those will both be glue as well. So I have a pocket, and then the edge of my page. So I have this pocket. This will also be glue. Okay. So let's do that right now. We can add our butterfly after. Just glue across the bottom, up the side to make a pocket, across the top. I haven't glued that shut yet at the end. We will, don't worry. And, oh, my thing was too long. I'm going to have to change where I put my glue, and my thing's too long. I forgot about this. Let me see how much sticks off the edge of the page. Oopsie. Let's see. Straightened out a little better. So see how this came, I was too long, so I'm cutting that off. So I'll probably have to revisit my sheath thing here. Oh no, he's still glued. But this guy right here, if I lift that up, he's glued a little bit, but there we go. Good. Get rid of that. Okay. And then my sheath, I should probably glue this shut as well. So this is basically the arm sticking out, but see how this still moves up and down? I don't want to force it too much right now until all that glue really cures. And then when I glue my butterfly on, I want to just glue from here over. I don't want to interfere with the pocket. So go to your widest point. I think that's my widest point there. So the easiest way is just to put glue on here and not on your butterfly. And then place your butterfly so he'll be partly glued and partly free. But cover up your sheath. There. So now this guy moves up and down. So you have your sliding element. It's the element itself this is the element itself is sliding, but you still have a junk journal pocket like that. How fun is that? Do we like this one? I'm really happy when if I've taught you something new. That makes me happy because I know that we have beginners watching and we also have very seasoned journal makers watching. And if I can show somebody something new that I thought of in my head and you've been making journals for a long time, that just makes my day. I'm happy because I don't want you guys to be bored watching the simple projects, although I think we're all in agreement. Sometimes we just need a reminder of the things, the projects that we learned years ago, but we've forgotten to do. So I think that's really adorable. So this little butterfly moves up and down. Now you can do the same thing going across with your sheath. If you want to, like, say you had a duck and you had some sort of water body, you could make your duck slide back and forth across the water. There's lots of things you could do with this. It would be really cute. But that is attached. All right, so my 35 got covered up. That's okay. Fabulous. Okay, so again, sorry about the mix-up with the playlist numbers, but I think we should be all straightened out now. And moving forward, I will start to get those playlists. I won't add them to the playlist until the following morning, and that way they won't be ahead of each other, and hopefully I don't forget one again. If I do forget one on the list, you guys let me know. I'm always open to those reminders. So here we have two moving parts. I love that we can take this one out and we can write in it and then put it back in our book, and I love that we've got some interaction with this sliding element like that. Well, thanks for hanging out with me in my craft room today. Tomorrow is the big day, Saturday. We're going to do 2 or 3 projects tomorrow. It will be a longer video. But everyone have a great weekend, and thanks so much for crafting along with me. I'm really enjoying our time together. Take care now. Bye.